The Hittites withdrew from Babylon shortly after its conquest. They left the region in a state of chaos. The vacuum of power enabled a new people, known as the Kassites, to exert their authority over southern Mesopotamia. We know almost nothing of the origin or language of the Kassites. Like other newcomers, they swiftly integrated into Babylonian society. They wrote their documents in Akkadian, and their customs and beliefs seem to be no less Babylonian than that of the native inhabitants. What we do know is that a Kassite dynasty ruled Babylon and its area for no less than 400 years, between the years 1595 and 1155 BCE. The capital of the Kassite kingdom was the city of Babylon. A detailed political history of this period is unavailable to us because only a limited number of relevant texts have survived. In contrast to the political and historical aspects of the period, its literary production is well documented. During the Kassite period, scribes ceased to write and read Sumerian. Instead, they began to focus on copying classical Akkadian texts and composing new ones. Here is one example of an important text written in Akkadian that was composed during this period, a poem describing a righteous sufferer who questions the divine judgment. The poem is called Ludl Bel Nemeki. In Akkadian, this means, "I will praise the Lord of wisdom," which is the first line of the text. Ludl Bel Nemeki is sometimes considered a parallel to the biblical book of Job. You may find additional information about this interesting connection in the recommendations for additional reading.
So this is the story called Ludl Bel Nemeki, I will praise the Lord of wisdom, and the Lord of wisdom in this case is Marduk. And essentially it tells us of the relationship between man and God. The first two tablets are about the suffering of this character, and tablets 3 and 4 about the redemption. And essentially what happens is this character is a very important man at court, life is perfect, then something goes wrong and he can't understand for the life of him why, but it completely ruins his life. His enemies turn the king against him, his titles are stripped away from him, he's dishonored, even the lowest of the low attack him in the street, he's despised and loathed, and in tablet 2 he gets these horrible afflictions, and none of the doctors, the magicians, they can't work out why he has these problems or how to solve them, and he's at death's door. And then we have the redemption. So Marduk steps in, his anger is appeased, he cures the problems, the medical issues, and he puts him back in a position where he walks down the street of Babylon and people look at him and think, crikey, he's come back from the dead effectively.
To the north of the Kassite kingdom lay the Middle Assyrian kingdom. Its capital was naturally the city of Ashur. A long-lasting dynasty of Assyrian kings ruled the kingdom during this period. Middle Assyrian scribes made some contributions to the literary tradition of Mesopotamia. One of these was a collection of laws called the Middle Assyrian laws, which are important for comparative research. They will be discussed in our unit on the law. Middle Assyrian scribes also developed the old genre of royal inscriptions. Basically, Mesopotamian royal inscriptions consisted of poetry glorifying the king. In the Middle Assyrian period, the Assyrian scribes began to enrich the traditional royal inscriptions with annual reports of the king's achievements. For each year, they detailed his military campaigns, building enterprises, etc. The inscriptions provide a precise documentation of the king's deeds, appearing in chronological order. These texts are called the Assyrian Annals. They are considered a treasure trove for historians of Mesopotamia.